Hi, everybody. Welcome to an episode of Showit Live here on Showit2.com. I'm Field Denny. This is my amazing co-host, Elizabeth Langford.
You're so kind. I feel pretty amazing. It's Tuesday.
It is
We love
Tuesday.
Tuesdays.
Today is a special Tuesday.
It is.
We'll get into that a little bit more here in a minute. Now, on the left-hand side over there, actually, you're right, our left. You'll see a nice little chat window. That becomes important today because we have an amazing guest on.
We
today.
do.
Melissa Love is joining us from the UK, and she's going to be talking to us about blogging, about Showit and WordPress, and why Showit loves WordPress and how this kind of all.
I think we get to make little heart emojis today, right?
And they beat. Boop, boop,
Oh,
boop,
man.
Boop, 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 boop. No?
It's even more involved than I had planned.
I have children. This is what I do all day.
There you go.
But she'll be joining us, and you can ask questions.
Yeah.
So if you guys have questions during today's show about
chat.
WordPress, about Showit, about integration, specifically about her awesome designs that she has,
So good.
you'll be able to log in there, ask questions, and we'll do our best to get them answered today.
Absolutely. Yeah. Make sure you ask those questions and talk amongst your friends. Lots of fun people in the chat this morning. I
Now,
love the chat.
another reason today is special. Today marks the official, I don't know if you know this, today is the official 1-year anniversary of Field joining Showit.
That's exciting.
So cheers, everybody.
Cheers to you.
It's been a great year.
Yeah,
super
what an awesome 12 months. I love it.
It is. And don't go back and watch the old Showit lives because they're some of them have great content in them, but the really old ones are a little choppy, if you will. We've improved greatly.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Everything has an evolution,
It
right?
does. It does.
Did you, I read something interesting this morning on the internet. Did you know that from 5/10, so May 10th, 2015 to May 15th, 2015, the dates are all the same forwards and backwards.
Oh, yeah.
So all the numbers, they're like, what are those called? Anagrams? Is that what they're?
It's smarter than me.
I grew up in a town with the largest, I think it's called an anagram, in the world. And it was Wairika Bakery. Is also Wairika Bakery spelled backwards.
Oh, that's like how race car
Yes,
backwards.
exactly.
Oh.
But it was the longest one. But I thought it was really cool that the dates were that way.
Yeah.
Just weird information you didn't need to know today.
Same mom, forwards and backwards, and
Oh,
dad.
wow.
I know. I'm blowing people's minds on the internet. By the way, happy belated Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Happy belated Mother's Day,
Thank you.
Liz. To all the moms out there. It was a great
Good to
weekend.
be a mom.
Yeah, it's pretty great to be a dad.
Yeah, well, your day is coming.
It is.
Father's Day is around.
That sounds. Your day is coming.
You mean it in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. I am so excited about our guest today, though.
Yes.
We absolutely love and adore her. And it's morning here for us in Arizona, but it's evening. It's coming on evening across the pond.
Yeah, so.
Wish my accent was better.
You have a great accent. It's just one, though, for every country. So yeah, our guest today, joining us all the way from the UK, is Melissa Love from the designspace.co, which I actually have her site pulled up right now, and this is on her info page, but it's talking about how does all of this work, who she is, who her clients are, and has some frequently asked questions about how does her website design work and everything that she offers. So without further ado, though, I think we should bring Melissa on and have her tell us a little bit about this and about Showit and blogs and whatnot. So Melissa, welcome. Good evening. How are you doing today?
I'm excellent, thank you. It's lovely to see your faces again. I haven't seen you since Las Vegas.
I know. And you were honestly one of my favorite things about the entire WPPI experience was getting to hang out with Melissa Love. So you were a hoot.
It was a week of firsts. I'd never been to Vegas before. It was mind-blowing for a Brit.
And would you go back?
I can't wait. I've already booked to come back again.
Fantastic.
I think it was the limo with the fireball cocktails that sealed the deal for me with you guys. That was the best night I've had in a long time.
I love that you called it a cocktail because it was really.
I'm not sure it qualifies as that, but it was really fun. We actually got a thank you note in the mail today from the limo company.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny that you would mention that.
So we are now calling them our limo company. They're not we don't have limos, but we are now calling them, that's our limo company.
Oh, I thought we wouldn't be that popular after drinking and eating pizza and making the poor man wait all over Vegas while we got in and out. So maybe.
I think we were probably some of the nicest guests they've had.
And I believe that's kind of status quo.
Yes.
I think we just hit the entry level there for you know.
They were great though, and if you need a limo company in Vegas, their name is Gallivanter.
And
which is kind of a fun name.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Gallivanter.
Gallivanter. But yeah, they were very sweet.
There's always next year.
Yes.
Let's start planning it now.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll get on the phone and reserve them. Let's see. We have a special guest coming from the UK who has actually dined, I believe, with the Prince.
Yeah.
Is that true?
This is true. Yeah, this is my one claim to fame. I have had afternoon tea with Prince Charles. He was very nice.
Yeah.
This is many years ago. He hasn't been calling much lately, but
he's busy with those grandbabies now. Princess Charlotte arrived recently.
She did. I'm not terribly up on the royal family, but I do believe she's Charlotte Elizabeth Diana.
Yeah, good name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they let you into the country anymore unless you have memorized the first 3 names of the royal children. So
I would not be allowed into the country. I know that there's a firstborn and now a secondborn.
There you go.
Whose name is apparently Charlotte.
Yeah,
So.
they call it an heir and a spare, which is probably very impolite, but that's what it's known as.
Yes. Yeah.
But no, you don't live in London, right? You live in a little lovely place called Cornwall. Is that correct?
I do, and actually most people in Cornwall think they don't even live in England. Cornwall's almost like a separate country.
Yeah.
And it's got its own flag and its own language, and many people who live in Cornwall don't actually recognise that England is their governing kind of body. So it's the very far western tip before you fall off the end.
Yeah. That sounds a lot like Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
I was just thinking.
It's perfect. Yeah, very proud of where you're from, and you know. That's just the way that works.
That's fun. And before the show, we were actually talking about Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yes. So. Yeah. Nice tie-in.
Right. Really. Exactly.
Well, Melissa, you're joining us today to talk about something that is near and dear to your heart and what you do on a daily basis, and we're talking about design and helping photographers get their stuff together. Design-wise for kind of the whole package, right?
Yeah, cohesive branding.
Yeah. So
I think it's quite a stress. I think photographers find it really stressful because the fact is photographers are really creative and they've got a brilliant creative eye, but they're not graphic designers. So I know how frustrating that is to have in your mind what you want to achieve, but you can't quite get there because I'm a very amateur photographer and I go to take pictures and I have this great vision, but I never quite pull it off. So I can understand why photographers find it frustrating. We've all got great taste because we're creative people, but sometimes we don't quite have the skills or the knowledge. And why should we? You know, you can't be a specialist at everything. So I'm quite passionate about helping photographers and kind of making it not so traumatic.
Mm-hmm. That's the right word. It is borderline traumatic as far as trying to figure out like how do I we always look at it and it's like this is missing something, but we don't know what it is as photographers, and so we always go to a designer and find help and do this and do that. So we love designers.
No, I think it's so important because like Melissa said, you don't have to be a designer just because you're a photographer, and artists tend to like a lot of different things, so it can be really hard to brand yourself, and because then you feel like you're putting yourself in a box. So you have to work, you know, to really find who you are and express that in the design.
There's also, I think, you have to just remember that you mustn't put anything on hold just because you don't feel that maybe your branding is perfect, or you know, or you're worried that your website isn't quite right. I started working probably 3 or 4 years ago with Zach and Jodie Gray, and they are really amazing to work with because they're so focused on what they want to do with their business. But when we did their branding, you know, they launched the new brand live on Creative Live, and it was this crazy thing. And I got hundreds of emails from people saying, hey, you know, if only you could do for me what you've done for them, I'm sure that would make all the difference. And I think people kind of missed the point that they were already on Creative Live with a brand that they didn't even particularly like anymore, but they didn't let it stop them from going out there and selling their business really hard. And I think that my biggest advice is, firstly, don't look at my own website, my personal one, because I hate it. It's so out of date. Don't do what I do, because I'm just the same. Designers, we never have time for things like that. So things are never going to be perfect. You're always going to evolve and change. You'll always have some level of dissatisfaction with your brand or your site. So don't let it hold you back from really kind of going for it and promoting your business.
Isn't that funny that, I mean, you're not the first designer that I've talked to who's like, just don't look at my site. Like, look at these sites I've done for clients. But I mean, my site's like, and photographers were the same way. Like, we're just very lucky we had our pictures taken.
Yeah.
And we've had them taken a couple times, which is wonderful. But I mean, before the last year, we never had our pictures taken. Right. And now we've done it twice by some awesome photographers. But it's like, yeah, don't look at the pictures of us.
You put your own things. I always tell photographers, do as I say, not as I blog.
Yeah, right?
Because I don't blog on a regular basis. But we were going to talk about that today, how important it actually is to incorporate that into your business model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's go over, let's start with the blog and blogging. And obviously we know the importance, but let's hear it from the designer's perspective.
Well, I'm quite passionate about blogging if you feel you need more business. And I qualify that by saying I've only just recently started again, as I'm, now looking to grow my business. I've been really, really busy kind of just producing client work and stuff over the last few years. But in terms of photographers, it's so vital. And there's 3 really good reasons or kind of ways you can use your blog. And it's honestly your biggest secret weapon. It's so awesome. So the first one is any standalone site, whether it's Showit or WordPress or Squarespace or whatever it's made from, if you don't regularly create new content for it, Google is not going to rate you as highly as a site and or blog where new content is being created. So I don't just mean just switching out a few pictures or changing, the odd phrase on your homepage. I mean consistently creating new articles and content that Google can read. So and don't forget that if you're not doing that, your competitors will be doing that. They will be blogging. So even if, if you do nothing, you're already at a disadvantage. So I'm not an SEO expert. Our good friend Ben Turner, who I work with a lot, is an SEO expert. And he's got a really cool, I know you talked about this, a really cool course he's got out at the moment you can work through. But it is important to keep producing that new content. So that's one of the main reasons. I know that's one that people are always interested in. And how you keyword that is a whole other kind of ball game, so we won't get into that. The second one is a really cool thing, which is a lot of people think, well, they fall into the habit of just blogging the work they've done. Here's a shoot I did, here's a wedding I did, here's this family I shot. And there's kind of 2 problems with just doing that. The first one is that you're kind of, in a way, marketing to an audience of one, which is the person who's in that blog post. And they've already bought your services. So you're kind of spending all your time marketing to someone who already likes you and is probably not going to, get married again really soon, or, perhaps not have another family shoot till next year. So to an extent, obviously, you're showing your latest work, but that's quite a finite market. And I think if you relentlessly blog just shoots, people get a bit bored because it's not about them and they kind of want it to be about them. They lose interest. Yeah, it's great that they're shooting all the time, but I'm not going to read about another family or another kind of wedding. So I think it's fantastic. And it kind of goes into my third point. It's a great way to build trust and become an authority. I've got a great client who moved from the middle of nowhere to she moved to Dallas, and it was a really competitive market. So she kind of isn't a writer, was quite scared of blogging, but she used it as a networking tool. So she thought, well, I'm going to go and write an article about the top 5 wedding planners in Dallas. So she went and introduced herself and said, hey, I'm writing an article about this. I think you are one of the top 5. Would you like to be in my blog? Can I come and take some pictures? And, they, of course, they went, oh, well, why, thank you. I'd love to. Who's going to say, no, don't come and take pictures of me and write about me.
Did you say top 5? Yes, I guess I can make time for that. Yeah,
she did that. She then did that with florists and bridal gown boutiques and cake makers and you name it, she did it. And, this was not kind of award-winning literary writing. It was, I had a lovely time on Tuesday. I went to visit this awesome person and we talked about this, their top tips of planning a wedding. Here are some pictures of them, the end. So, she kept it really simple. And within 3 months, like some of the local wedding magazines were ringing her up and saying, hey, can we reproduce your blog post? Would you write an article for us? And the great thing was she was recycling her portfolio. She was like, here are the top 10 my top 10 favorite bouquets I've shot this year.
Yep.
So she was kind of all the time recycling her work and flattering people in her network. And kind of within a year, she'd kind of booked 20 new weddings, and she was really thrilled with the results. So it is your absolute icebreaker, secret weapon, way to flatter people who are going to recommend you. And she went to venues and said, I would love to shoot a wedding here. I'm doing the top 5 venues. Do you want to be in on that? Can I come and take some shots? They're like, oh, well, if you say top 5,
right?
Of course. Yeah. So who doesn't want to be in the top 5? Yeah. Never mind, it's just on your blog with it. You know, they don't know that. So
and don't tell them we're in the 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Surprise them.
So I'm putting together the top 5.
Yeah.
And you,
in no particular order.
Yeah.
I love that idea. That
really
is brilliant, thinking outside of the box, and a great way to connect. Not only with the vendors, but with your brides, because they want that information and they want it from a trusted source. So that's great.
Yeah, I love it.
That content is then about them and the things they're interested in. And I know we're just talking about weddings, but if you're a family or lifestyle photographer, you could be doing the same thing, you know, best ways to improve your holiday photos, or or the top 5, I don't know, little baby gym play date places, or you know, you could be doing, there's endless, the top 5 bakeries where you can buy cakes, do a cake smash. You know, I've got clients who've gone and done that kind of thing, and it's so effective in terms of networking.
That's great. Top 5 pediatricians.
Ooh. Yeah.
So like it's endless. It's great.
Yeah.
Top 5 locations for a family shoot.
Yeah.
You know, people want to be able to visualize themselves doing this thing, so.
Maybe themes for family shoots, maybe, you know,
That's
doing
fun.
different stuff.
Oh, I really like that idea.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well done.
Definitely mix it up.
Yeah, for sure. No, and I think that's important. We always talk about blogging, and what's funny is you haven't mentioned the words, but all of these things build your SEO, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about, you know, it depends. Obviously, and I love what you said initially, like you highly encourage blogging if you want more business. And I think that there are times where, you know, as photographers, we've hit our goals for the year. We maybe just physically can't take any more shoots, any more weddings, any more anything. And it's like, well, we don't need the business, you know? So it's like maybe you lax a little bit on the blog or whatnot, but not everybody's in that boat. And if you need more business, or you need the business for next year, you're not booked up or whatnot, like getting blogging and getting out there. And I mean, I love the networking ideas. Those are fantastic. And it's such a huge thing, and all also kind of builds into your SEO.
Well, and it's a great way too to just share more about who you are, so that you're making connections with clients that are right for you, because they get to see a little behind the scenes of your life. And I think that's, you know, one of the other great things about blogging.
I mean, this might be controversial, but I would also say you don't have to blog every shoot. You know, I feel you should just blog the work that you want more of. And instead of blogging every shoot, you mix it up with some of these other articles, because then it becomes less of a chore. And then you're doing marketing at the same time as and you're marketing to more than that one person who's already worked with you. So, you know, I think you've got to make your time count. You have to make you don't have a lot of time to spare to blog and write and market yourself. You know, make it count. Don't blog weddings or shoots that you're not happy with or don't want more of. So just because you feel you ought to, because you owe it to that person, you know, you can share that stuff on Facebook, share an album on Facebook. Don't waste your time.
Well, and I think what's key there, and I've had this conversation with a lot of different photographers, like, oh, well, I feel bad if, you know, I shot this bride and I don't blog her. And maybe I think it's important to know the difference between why you're showing something on your blog and why you're not, right? If you're just showing something because, you know, she doesn't look like a model and she doesn't do that and blah, 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 like that may not be the best reasons to not showcase the blog. But if the style doesn't match, like if it doesn't match your overall cohesive brand, regardless of the you know, I hear that's the biggest thing that I hear as far as controversial is, oh, well, you know, I think all my brides are beautiful and they deserve to be on there. Absolutely. And that's incredibly true. But if the overall style doesn't match what you want to produce in the future, it may not be something you blog.
Well, and then it's probably really important that you explain that with your clients, that you have those conversations when you know this just isn't going to be a good fit. I once took some portraits of some young brothers skateboarding and made the mistake of not telling their mom. Like, I most likely won't put this on my blog because I'm a wedding photographer. I'm aspiring to be a wedding photographer. And it turned into a pretty big misunderstanding with her. She thought I didn't like the pictures because I didn't post them on the blog. And so, you know, you have to kind of keep that in mind as well, and just be upfront. You know, perhaps if you're shooting something that's not weddings and you want to be a wedding photographer, it just doesn't make sense that would be on your blog. It'd be very confusing and kind of break that trust, I think, with potential brides.
For sure. So, blogs, important, some great ideas. The networking, I think, is huge. People go out there and do that. That is massive. That's such a great idea. Now, one of the things that you came on to talk about was WordPress now working with Showit and how this works. And so from the I know a little bit about it. I'm lucky enough to work here, but from the designer aspect, how is that working?
Well, there's two things. The biggest thing that people worry about is wondering how having a separate blog to your Showit site works, and does it affect your SEO? So that's the number one concern. The second one is how do I make my blog and website feel seamless? So I'm going to try and deal with those two things. So what you used to, before Showit did this awesome new thing, which I'm going to tell you why I think it's amazing. You had to have your blog maybe on a subdomain, so you might have blog.yourdomain.com, or you could have it, and it was a bit more fiddly to have it at /blog. You had to use FTP and export your HTML and upload the files, and it just sometimes seemed a bit intimidating. So a lot of people went with the subdomain option, and that wasn't terrible for SEO, but really those were two very separate sites, and WordPress and Google would have read those as two separate sites, and it might have picked up that they're on the same domain and kind of grouped them together. I know that my links used to show up on Google. My blog did show, even though it wasn't on a subdomain when I had that arrangement, but it wasn't optimum. It wasn't as strong a proposition SEO-wise as having everything in the same folder. So now, and just I hope everyone knows that your Showit subscription includes blog hosting, WordPress hosting. It's so cool. Like, you know, saving yourself kind of $10 a month is great. You know, who doesn't want to do that? So, I mean, that's a happy bonus, saving the money, but the actual technical reason is so great, because what happens now is if you say to Showit, make it happen, not only will they move everything or copy your blog files across from wherever they are now, they'll install them at /blog. And what happens is Showit is and you might have to correct me, but I'm pretty sure I've got the technical spec right, but it puts everything in one folder. So your main site pages are there inside the folder, and so is your folder with your blog files. So everything is HTML. Google just says, here's all the main pages, here's all the blog pages. Awesome. This is one site. So we've moved to the point now where Google reads your whole site and blog as one entity, and that's just awesome.
And that's where blogging on a regular basis then really does help with that SEO, because it says this site is regularly changing and updating, and it has relevant content to what people are looking for, I guess, when they use certain keywords. And
that's always one of the things. So, disclaimer, I work for Showit, but we've used Showit for 5 years. That's one of the things that we've always loved about it, is how easy it is to update. So we'd finish a shoot and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, if we were lucky, we'd blog about it. And, you know, in most cases we wouldn't. And we would update images and content on our Showit site and keep that updating and relevant, because it's so easy. Like, oh, add new images to a gallery, change the gallery description, change this, blah, 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 update. Done. Like, updating your site and keeping everything relevant, adding new stuff, like that's what it's all about.
That's awesome.
So yeah, being able to do both.
Yeah, you've got the best of both worlds now. You can show it, which is so easy to use for your main pages, which are basically, those are the ones you want to look really pretty. Right? So the blog, once that's set up, and if you can get it to match, which we'll come on to now, to feel fairly seamless, then you know you've got it made, really. You're updating your content through your blog very naturally, and you can still have the freedom to show it for your main pages. And actually, one of the features is, I'm pretty sure that you can decide if you wanted a page that was called yourdomain.com/store or something, you can now say, actually, can I have that page be a Showit one, or can I have it be a WordPress one? You can get the support team to help you do that. So you can kind of pick and choose between what format you want your pages in.
Yeah, the studs are pretty amazing. We call them support pros.
They're fantastic.
But I mean,
yeah. We don't think of them that way.
Yeah. But yeah, they are pretty amazing, and they're always there to help people through all of those things. We actually had a really good question here from Penguin Design. I think it's Penguin Design. I mean, it looks like a penguin.
Penguin Design.
Yeah. So, and for those that have nothing yet, will it be easy to start? So by nothing, they mean WordPress.org. So I'm assuming not having
a blog.
A blog, will it be easy to start? Yes, it's actually really simple, and that's the easiest way with Showit, because there's no migration and any of that. So it actually is really easy. You log into your account, showitaccount.com, and then in the upper left-hand corner, it has you talk about your blog. So start, migrate or start a new one.
Yeah.
Piece of cake, easy. And as far as like themes and getting it to look like your Showit site and all of that, Melissa's got some extra special tips and maybe more for us here. But yes, so Penguin Design, whoever you are, that's an awesome name.
Yeah, just log into your Showit account.
Yeah.
So should we talk about the dreaded subject of how do you get it to match?
Yes, because this as being on this side of the photographer designer spectrum is a pain. Like, Showit's so easy. I can do whatever I want. And WordPress, I look at it, and Liz was helping me out yesterday because she's a lot smarter at all this than I am. And I was just so thankful to have somebody there to help. So
I think the thing is, when you first install WordPress, it's a bit like anything. When you first install Showit, you've got a blank page.
Yeah.
The problem is Showit's got all these awesome controls and drag and drop, and WordPress doesn't.
Oh no!
Super minimal control.
Yeah.
And you do need to kind of know code, and it's all intimidating. So, for the benefit of anyone who hasn't really dipped their toe into WordPress world, you do need to buy a theme. And a theme is something that makes WordPress have more features, easier to work with. Normally gives it a big control panel so you can choose fonts and colors. And, normally they have, custom page styles and things that you can apply, or custom pages. So your first question you have to ask yourself is, do I want to go fixed width? And if you want to pull up that first link, and I'm just going to show you. Do you want to pull up the campus links, guys?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yes. That'd be great.
Right here. So campus. Yep. All right.
So there's two types of we're kind of in the middle of a WordPress revolution, right? So we've been talking about the mobile kind of changes, and a lot of people have been using the word responsive. So what I'm going to show you is the difference between a fixed width site and a responsive site. So what you're looking at there is a matching blog to one of my style groups. There's a Showit version of that, and obviously it was easy to make that in Showit.
Yes.
Just drag the stuff around. WordPress was harder. So the thing is, you can achieve quite a seamless look, and it's all about replicating the menu style and the header style and doing that. So the two big themes I recommend, and one which most people will have heard of, one is ProPhoto, who I love, and they're a lovely group of people, and they give, if you buy the ProPhoto theme, it's a one-off purchase, but it gives you this whole control panel, and you can customize it right down to what every button looks like and every divider. It gives you dozens, hundreds of options really. So it's great value, and at the moment it's a fixed width solution. That's not a bad thing. It just means you just have to be aware that it generates a different looking mobile version at the moment. So if you like that fixed width view that doesn't change with the size of the browser, I can't know if you can see me over your floral design in front of your. I'm moving my hands back and forward to indicate a changing size browser. But a responsive design, a truly responsive design, and Showit is responsive because it does respond to the size of the browser. But with these kind of scrolling WordPress sites, you'll see responsive means that things move around on the page and resize themselves and change the order as you decrease the size of the browser through iPad size down to mobile size. If you love that big full width header image, or those kind of parallax where layers move over each other, and you want that on your blog, you'll be looking for some kind of responsive theme. And one that I love, have been working with for about 2 years now, and the one that you guys love is Divi from Elegant Themes. And this is really cool. Showit have got a license to include Divi with any installation of WordPress. So it's worth quite a bit of money. It's kind of worth $69 a year. And it makes it's kind of a drag and drop WordPress solution, not in the sense of Showit where you can do it on the front end, but you can tag blocks around in the back end of the page. And it's much more friendly and more intuitive to use than lots of other WordPress themes. So my 2 top picks are for fixed width, incredible attention to detail, easy to customize every aspect. I love Presto. If you love the scrolling, responsive kind of look, I'm all about the Elegant Themes Divi.
Yeah. So now with Elegant Themes, they have lots of different themes. There's all of them are in there, and they're all kind of available. And then Divi is a theme within there that is kind of easier to customize, right? And so you have built you've been building sites using Divi. You've kind of used that as your custom site for the longer, a little more responsive drag and drops. Now, I can't remember what I was going to ask.
Well, so it's like a child theme,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So Elegant Themes is it's like the parent, and then Divi is like the child. And you actually you have a Showit style group called Vertical, and you created a Divi theme called Vertical as well. That's very compatible, and it's the same brand, if you will, right? And so Showiteers could use that if they were using, say, the Vertical style group. Then they could use the Vertical theme and have a cohesive look between their blog and their Showit website.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Showit browser experience that, when you change the size of your window, the Showit site changes, has a very similar feel to the full width Divi kind of feel. So I feel they're very compatible. So when we were all together in Vegas, we were chatting, and I said, hey, I've been working on all these Divi designs. I sell them. This is great news that you're using this. And so what we decided I would do was, because Vertical is one of the style groups that comes inside the program of Showit, I've gone away and I've made a 1-page blog page version, which I think you could probably pull up. It's
I have it up.
The second one. And it's completely free. So if you want to if you've got nothing and you're just starting out and you want a style group that matches this blog page, you can just ask the Showit support team to install it for you. So we've recorded a video walkthrough, all sorts of stuff to help you get started. So this is just a completely free blog theme and child theme for you to use to match one of the included Showit style groups. So if nothing else, you can at least get that installed and go in and play with it and see if you get on with it and make your own adjustments to it. So hopefully that will be of use. And I know there's a lot of people who already use the Vertical style group too, so that would be really cool if they wanted to get that for free.
Oh, for sure.
That's awesome.
I love that it matches the Showit style group, and it does such a good job, like going back and forth between each. And
there also is a custom mobile style group of Vertical now inside of Showit.
Sure.
So you can have the entire suite, and that's all included.
So this is you're our first designer to offer something across all three styles. So you have your custom desktop, your custom mobile, and
custom WordPress.
Custom WordPress.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's super great.
Yeah. I'm actually going to produce a 1-page blog version for all of my style groups in Divi, so people can buy those as well. Because I think people love the responsive feel, and you don't, automatically generates its own beautiful mobile version. You don't have to then worry about making a custom mobile site for your blog. It just happens very naturally and looks great on all devices. But we wanted to start with this one, get some feedback, see what you guys think, and if you like it, we'll make more.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to love it.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, already do. Yeah, I've had the joy of looking around and playing around in them, and it's fantastic. I think that it's huge and will definitely help people out.
Yeah, well, I think that consistency across the brand and not having it feel like you're going somewhere else. I mean, now that's the beauty of your blog can be, right attached to your Showit site, and everything is cohesive. Is really, really wonderful. And we're just so excited that we're now doing managed WordPress hosting, and our support pros are awesome to work with, and you can get on the list to have your blog migrated over or have a brand new one created if you don't have one yet.
Yeah. So once again, go to showitaccount.com, log in, and then in the upper left-hand corner, you can start the process there. And yeah, like you mentioned, and Liz, you hinted on. The support pros do all the heavy lifting for you. So if you
don't
already,
have to be techie.
Yeah, if you already have a WordPress site or you have a site on a different blogging platform, whether that's Blogger or other ones, I can't remember, we will migrate everything over for you. Like our pros, they're super buff. They do all the heavy lifting. So, and if you have
a nasty job, right? That is a nasty job.
It is.
They are amazing for doing that. That's worth a lot of money. Just someone migrating your site. I'm so thankful for it. I used to have to do it all.
And even if you have the like a pro photo site that uses WordPress, we'll migrate all that over for you, and it becomes seamless. And you don't have to change anything as far as your theme goes. But if you'd like to, now there are some pretty great options out there.
There are.
We must tell everyone why the Showit hosting is so awesome, because when you have your own hosting, it's really worrying because you have to have backups and you have to have kind of caching, lots of plugins to make it secure and super speedy, and you don't have to do any of that with the Showit hosting. And I just think that's great because it's the kind of thing that gives people sleepless nights. You know, is my site going to get hacked? Maybe I'm not backed up. I've accidentally deleted something. You know, it takes a lot of that worry away. And you know, I spend a lot of time checking up on my clients to make sure they're all backed up and they're all protected. They're updating their WordPress and they're updating their plugins. That kind of is it's a full service limousine. It is the limousine package.
It is.
With verifiable cocktails.
It is, yeah. That's actually a way to bring that story back around. It is. I was going to make an analogy, but I probably shouldn't. No, and that's one of the biggest things. I know that when we were talking about as a company incorporating blogs, and we really wanted it to make it easy on everybody. So that's why we migrate. That's why we do all the migration stuff. It doesn't make it easier on us by any means, but it makes it easier on you guys, which is huge for us because we genuinely care. And then the other things we wanted and had to make sure we had before we launched it was speed, and then the security, the safety and security of knowing like your site's backed up, it's always going to be there.
Well, I guess the simplicity of everything is in one place, and you don't have to worry about the rest, and you know sort of who you're talking to, right? You can get to know our support pros, and all of our team members here at Showit are on support chat every once in a while, and so it's nice to like know I'm talking with a real person, not a computer. It's never the Showit robot. Showit robot does other fun things around here. He
just sends random texts about our CEO and fun jokes and fun facts. Fun fact, the Showit robot. He's all about that. So, and then where do you see, was that a question for Melissa? Or was it a question for me?
We had a question fly across the screen.
We had a question pop up. It's a big one. Where are we going with blogs? Ooh. So I don't know if he wants me to be this transparent. I'm the oversharer, so he really shouldn't ask me questions. But we have big plans for blogs, and we have big plans for Showit in the future, and how it integrates. Another reason, I'll give you a look into the back end talks here and Showit. Another reason we wanted to integrate WordPress with the current version of Showit is we wanted to see how Showit played well with maybe different technologies, maybe new things coming, because this may or may not be the official title, but Showit 5 is coming, and we're working hard on it. I've got a demo that I've shown quite a few people, and it's really exciting. I was in on a conversation yesterday that I shouldn't have been in on because they're all much smarter people than me.
He was so excited when he came back over to the marketing team office.
Those of you who've seen the Showit 5 demo, you know what I'm talking about. It's going to be amazing. But one of the reasons we wanted to integrate blogs with the current version of Showit is so we can see how Showit 5 would integrate with the current version of Showit. And let me just, it's going swimmingly, and there's much more on the blog stuff that I probably shouldn't say out loud, especially on the internet.
Lots of innovation going on in the Showit mothership these days.
Yeah,
it's
but
fantastic.
If you want a back end view or maybe a demo of the new Showit Live, I'm going to throw it out there. PM me. I'm on the Facebook. Send me a message and we will set up a time where I can show you. I'm okay with that. It's what I do.
It's awesome, and we've had designers. I don't think it was actually Melissa who cried. We did have a designer who cried, literally cried,
multiple
tears
times
of joy when she saw sort of what's in store. So it's very exciting.
It was just sad pictures of kittens. That's all it was. And they could cry.
There's no such thing.
No, I cried about the WordPress post. That was my moment of great joy.
Yeah.
Deep joy.
Yeah. And the Divi integration.
Yeah.
And I remember that being a really big deal.
Yeah.
Well, Melissa, thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope you have a wonderful night. And I can't wait to chat with you about the Great British Baking Show when that comes back on, because that is that's our Space Jam.
Okay, well, I'm actually going off to do a very British thing. I'm going singing in a community singing event in the church tonight. So
that is
fantastic.
We'll be drinking tea and eating cakes and singing traditional Cornish songs.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have Periscope? The app Periscope?
Oh, I know where you're going with that. It's not going to happen.
Oh,
please.
I would give you money. Like that's
pounds.
I will pay
pounds.
I will pay you in whatever currency they're currently taking. Yeah, because so Periscope, if you guys don't know, it's this app put together by Twitter. You can do live video feeds and then you comment on it and all that. And it's a lot of fun. You can follow us at Showit. We have our own account. I have my own account at Only One Field because I'm the only one. And then Liz, do you have a Periscope account?
I do have a Periscope account.
Have you ever Periscoped?
No.
Okay. Well, so anyways, Melissa's going to get one, and she's going to Periscope from her singing at church traditional. Did you say Cornish songs?
Yeah. Look. Well, it's kind of there's a big festival. There's a big arts and literary festival. So it's not a church event. It just happens that's the venue we happen to be in. But
perfect.
There's 5 or 6 local choirs all having a sing off. So that's and there'll be lots of tea drums and cake.
A sing off.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
So the church probably has good acoustics. Great location. Great location.
We rehearse in there, so we think we've got the home advantage.
Yeah.
We're out to win tonight.
I need video, Melissa. I need video.
Love it.
And then we will reenact it in Vegas next time we see it.
It'll be perfect. We'll learn all the songs.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you, Melissa. Sincerely, thank you for sharing all your knowledge and your help. And for more information on how you guys can get the vertical theme for your WordPress blog, you can hit up our support pros, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And just feel free, like Phil said, reach out because I've got big plans for helping you guys get your WordPress kicked into shape. And I'd love to know what you want more of and what we can do to be helpful to you. And just let me know if you get hold of the Divi version. Tell me what you think of it. I'm happy to blog, to answer any questions or see what's on people's minds and blog about it, do tutorials and stuff. And there's a lot of video walkthroughs already on my support site, which you can just go to the design space and jump straight onto the support site. So there's loads of resources there.
Yeah. Once again, go to the designspace.co, which has all that information. All right. Well, thank you guys, and thank you guys for joining us. Join us next week as we will be announcing the next round of United speakers.
We are so excited. We have such an amazing lineup of fantastic teachers and people and inspirational talks and educational talks, and we're gonna start telling you who those people are next week, and we might even have some of them on the show.
I believe we shall.
I believe we shall.
All right, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Have a great week.